It's a big game because you're playing, a team in the top 10. That resonates with every player.
I think all of college football feels different the last few years, but this game still means a lot to us.
It's the biggest game in the state of Oregon, and it only comes once a year. Like Christmas, Halloween, or even Thanksgiving, Oregon and Oregon State football, Ducks and Beavers. Who wants the bragging rights for the next 365 days? Only one way to find out, and it all starts right now.
Now, this is college football game night.
Well, there's nothing silver about it when Oregon and Oregon State football meet on the gridiron. Welcome into the College Game Night. I'm Brett Taylor. A rivalry renewed for the 129th meeting between the Beavs and the Ducks on the football field. Two programs that respect but don't like each other very much. And that had been the case heading into two very different directions this season. Oregon, of course, a top 10 program in the nation. Oregon State on the other side, still searching for its first win of the year. So let's head on over to Autzen Stadium for a big warm welcome from the Duck on his trusty steed. Dan Lanning looking for his third straight 4-0 start. Oregon State looking to play spoiler on the road. Opening drive for Oregon. It's the more-to-more connection. Dante Titikourian. 22-yard stride, and look at the effort by Titikourian. You don't see very many freshmen doing that. Ducks up early and looking for more on their second drive, but the Beaver defense standing strong. Shamar Mikhail with the stuff like a Thanksgiving turkey sandwich. Beavs take on over. Moments later, Malik Murphy, broken coverage in the secondary, finds Taz Riddicks all alone down to the 1-yard line, and OSU finds life. Third and goal, Anthony Hankerson punches it in, and hold on, folks. We've got a game at Autzen Stadium. Second quarter still tied at 7. It's more this time finding Kenyon Sadiq. 23-yard strike, and Oregon has clearly had enough of this close game. They are done with it. Final seconds of the half. Ducks in the red zone. It's Jordan Davison, easy money, and the depth of Oregon shines late as the Ducks take a 14-point lead heading into the half. Not always the cleanest on offense in that first half for the Ducks, but on the last two drives, Will Stein dials it up with back-to-back tutties. Dante Moore, impressive once again from the start. 13 of 19 for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. Anthony Hankerson putting the Beavers on his back. But how about Bryce Betcher, the Eugene native? 9 tackles in the first half of the senior linebacker. His career high in a game, 11, looking to make it his last in-state rivalry game. Something special to remember. But there's a reason why football has 4 quarters, folks. It's never over till it's over. And Oregon, looking to prove that statement wrong. Second drive in the third, it's more back to the air to Jeremiah McClellan. They've been trying to get that connection to work for weeks, and it finally pays off. First touchdown for the redshirt freshman. Ducks rolling. Fourth quarter, more. Play action. Beavers are fooled from the get. He's got a man open. It's Gary Bryant Jr. off to the races as the route in Eugene, Oregon is on. 38-7. Oregon with all the answers, and the Beavs still searching. The backups are in. It's Jabari Johnson on the read option to Hank the Tank. And the muff on the exchange of the fumble. Oregon recovers, and that is the final knockout punch. So these two teams meet up again in 2027. The Beaver fans looking for answer. Everybody expected a blowout, and that's exactly what we got. So how are both teams feeling at the end of this one? Let's take a listen from Autzen Stadium.
We talked about winning the trenches before this game started, and to be able to rush for almost 300 yards and hold them to under 100 rushing after we started so poorly was a big win for us. And overall operated well. We've got to be cleaner in some of our issues there from a penalty standpoint and just our operation overall. But ultimately a dominant performance.
For the first half, we were doing what we wanted to do as far as they were competing, playing hard on our work, and it was good. And it looked like we wanted to look. Kind of let go of the rope in the second half and got back to making the same mistakes that put us in this position. Cut guys loose in the back end, special teams blunders, put the ball on the ground. So it's a tale of two halves, and this is how good we are capable of being in that first half.
So the final from the 129th meeting between these two programs, 41-7 all Oregon. Dante Moore, how about this for history, becomes the first Oregon quarterback in this rivalry series to throw for over 300 yards and rush for 50 on the ground. He also finished with a career-high 4 touchdowns through the air. While on the flip side, a career worst for Malik Murphy. 5 of 18 on the field, just 68 yards, both his lowest with a minimum of 10 attempts as the Beavers are blown out by 30 for a second straight season. So let's bring in some of our boots on the ground from Autzen Stadium. Reporter Israel LaRue, of course, covering Oregon State, and Olivia Cleary on that Oregon beat this season. Olivia, let's start with you first. Earlier this week, all Oregon could talk about was how much this series meant to them, even describing the Beavers as the little brother in this rivalry. I know what that's like as a little brother. They talked a lot of smack, but they backed it up with their play on the field, didn't they?
They definitely did. Oregon not only talked about owning this rivalry, but they won the game when it mattered and even bounced back from that slow, sluggish start they had. They recovered really well, proving once again that they're the big brother in this rivalry.
When you try to fight with your big brother, you know, you can put up a little fight in the beginning like they did in the first quarter, but usually after 4 quarters or 4 rounds, big brother usually wins.
But the win didn't come easy early. Oregon got off to a slow start today, leaving the first quarter tied with Oregon State 7-7 after giving up 76 yards and a touchdown. The Beavers were able to move the ball and make some plays, and for a stretch, it felt like the Ducks weren't fully in sync.
We can't, allow teams to be able to move the ball like that to start, and we got to stay in rhythm offensively. We lost a little bit of that, but we got it back.
All year we've been, doing great with first drives or just, playing, at the standard of Oregon football, but that's just a game of football. That happens everywhere. It happens in the NFL, high school, college. Of course, that's not what you want, but this is just little adversity.
But after that, Oregon's defense took over. The Ducks completely shut down Oregon State for the rest of the game, holding the Beavs to just 147 total yards. The rushing defense was dominant. In the passing game, Oregon held Oregon State quarterback Malik Murphy, who had been averaging nearly 300 yards per game, to just 68 yards. From the front 7 to the secondary, the Ducks played as a complete and in-sync unit, showing what this defense is capable of when it's firing on all cylinders.
I think we got a relentless defense, a team that is also not selfish. Like, when someone makes a play, we all there and we all excited. Like, this team, the best thing about this team is, like, everyone's just excited for one another. No matter who make the play, no matter what happened, like, it's all about the team. How can I help the team? That's what our defense is all about.
Next, Oregon faces one of the most dominant teams in college football, Penn State, currently ranked number 2 in the nation. It's a rematch of last year's Big Ten championship and a game that could have major playoff implications. And the Ducks know they'll need a complete game. No slow starts, no slow finishes to take them down. So after a win today, when does Oregon flip that switch for Penn State?
Yeah, switch is already flipped. They're really talented. Schematically, as challenging as anybody that will play, right? As far as what they present on both sides of the ball, they play relentless effort. They play well on special teams. Coach Franklin's teams are always well coached, so it will be a real challenge for us, but one we're excited to attack.
This is a big week of preparation for the Ducks ahead of going and playing in one of the most hostile environments in all of college football. This week will give them time to go to the doctor, clean things up ahead of facing Penn State, which is a game a lot of us have had circled on our calendars for a long time, isn't it, Brett?
Yeah, I think so. I think every Duck fan has had this game circled coming up next weekend. But for the moment, happy times for the Ducks. That continues as they move to 4-0 on the season. But the same can't be said for the Beavers as they move in the opposite direction to 0-4 on the year for the first time since 2011. Izzy, this is very much uncharted waters for this Beaver program. It's the second year in a row now that they've been blown out by the Ducks. So I'm just kind of curious, what were some of the reactions from head coach Trent Bray after this latest loss, and what did he have to say about where the Beavers kind of go from here?
Brett, head coach Trent Bray was very honest, and he said that his team was able to hang in with one of the best teams in the country for one half, but they weren't able to do that for the next half, and that's just been the story of the Beavers season. They haven't been able to put together a complete game, and they just had failures on offense, defense, and special teams, so they're going to be looking like they're going to have to fix that.
For a half, we were playing with one of the best teams in the country, and we were right there.
It was a tale of two halves for the Beavers.
And we were right there, and we can do it. That's how good we're capable of being. And then in the second half, we cut guys loose in the back end. We, put the ball on the ground. We didn't move the sticks. We kind of went back to the things that have plagued us that got us here.
Malik Murphy had the offense humming, converting over 50% on third down plays, and controlled the play clock, leaving the explosive Oregon offense off the field.
I think we really needed that as a team early on in the game to get us going and, kind of keep that momentum going. So, of course, it's huge to score early on. of course, I just wish we could have kept that up.
And the defense held Oregon to only 14 points before the Ducks snuck in a touchdown before the end of the half. But after holding the number 6 team in the country to just a 2-score lead, the Beavers came out of halftime with a 3-and-out, and it went downhill from there.
We got to stay the same the whole way throughout the game, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what happens out there. We got to keep playing defense. I think a lot of guys, once the score started going up, a lot of guys started going back down, man. But we got to keep our head level. We got to be able to go out there and compete every single time we're out on the field.
As the Beavers were held to only 68 passing yards, Murphy's lowest on the season, he was honest about what bright spots he saw from the offense.
Honestly, I mean, it might not have looked like it, but I'll say the run game. You know, I think we were hitting it harder. We were hitting the holes how we were supposed to. We were blocking people up, you know. We scored early on a run play. Like, it was good stuff going on. We just got to keep it going.
The Beavers have yet to put together a complete game, and after getting ran out of Autzen Stadium, head coach Trent Bray had a simple message for his team.
The message to them is this is how good you can be. We have to believe that, and we have to do it for 4 quarters. Right now we're doing it sometimes, not all the times, and when you play the teams like we're playing, you got to do it all the time, all the time.
Well, no rest back here at the station is coming up. It's the top 25 meeting in Southern Oregon. Raiders or Diggers. Can the Raiders play spoiler in their own backyard? We'll find out when we come back.